Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Business Communication. We are in week 12, and today we'll be doing Unit 12. This, of course, means that we don't have many weeks left this semester. And you'll also notice that Unit 12 is the last unit in the textbook. So we have done all of the units so far, and we did not skip around. So we've done them all. But week 15 is the final exam. Week 14 is usually a review week. And so after today, that will leave one more lecture, one more unit. So for that one, we will probably do some of the revision unit practice to help you get ready for the final exam. We're still waiting to hear from the university what form the final exam will take or how it'll be done. But I will give you that information as soon as I have it. One quick note, I know there was a little problem with the quiz last week. Thank you to Peter and Sam for telling me about it. I just want to remind you all that, I send you messages on Sunday night, usually with the links for the next week's videos. It's really helpful to me if you can go through, check, just kind of look at everything. You don't have to do it Sunday night, but it's very helpful to me and you if you are able to just click on the links, go into Canvas, check the assignments, just see that they're all working okay, because on my computer everything looked fine and they seemed to be working, but as I mentioned, Sam and Peter told me that the quiz was not working, so I had to go in and fix it. And so if you're able to, please try to do that like Sunday or Monday, and then let me know so that I can get it fixed quickly so everyone can do it without having any problems. So I apologize for that. Something happened when it got uploaded, but thankfully it was an easy fix. So that's that. There will be, for this unit again, 2 videos, 2 online discussions, and a quiz, just like last week. And let's see, let me share my screen with you. Today we are talking about jobs. Many of you are seniors, or I think we have some juniors as well. That means you will be looking for jobs soon after graduation. So this is an especially useful unit for you. And it's one of my favorite topics too. I like talking about jobs and job interviews and how to get jobs and things like that. So here we have a hairstylist. I like this quote here: all jobs are easy to the person who doesn't have to do them. Right? Has that happened to you? You see someone doing a job and you say, oh, that looks easy. I could do that. That seems pretty easy. It's kind of like that expression in English, the grass is always greener on the other side, meaning that things always look better for other people, but the truth is usually they're not better. Something our minds do to us. Okay, let's get started here. We've got some job vocabulary here. A nice long list of jobs, from lawyer, nurse, soccer player here. Remember, this is a British book. accountant, fashion model. If you don't know any of these jobs, if they're not familiar to you, go ahead and look them up in your Naver dictionary, and you can see what that job is called in Korean or in your language. And this asks you to think about who should be the highest paid on this list. Not who is the highest paid, but who should, in your opinion, who should be the highest paid. Let me grab my marker here. So that's something to, who do you think should? So that will tell us how important you think certain jobs are, right? For example, professional athletes make millions and millions and millions. Should they though? What about like a nurse or a teacher? Yeah, a teacher, right? Or a firefighter, or people like that who can have a much bigger impact on people than just an athlete, someone you just watch to be entertained, right? So you don't have to list all of them. Maybe list I think it's interesting to list the person you think should be paid the most and the person who you think should be paid the least. So most, you can put a little M next to it, and least, put a little L next to it. And more importantly, why. Think of your reasons why you think those people should be paid that way. Part B is always fun. I wish we were together in class to do this activity. In your country, which jobs have the highest and lowest salaries? I know most of you are Korean, but not all of us are Korean. So in your country, which jobs are the best paid jobs? And part C this is about your preferences. What would you like to do at work? Would you like a job where you're on the phone a lot? Do you like writing? If you like writing, maybe you want a job where you write lots of reports. Do you want to work with the same people every day, or do you want to work with different people every day? Do you want to work on your own, so by yourself? Are flexible hours important to you? Where maybe on a Monday you have doctor's appointments and things, so you don't work that day, but instead you work on Saturday that week, and then the next week you are able to change your schedule again to help you balance your work with your personal life. That's something that I think is important. Number 7, do you want a job where you get to use English at work? Do you want to share an office? Do you want to have casual dress? So casual dress in this case means not a suit and tie, right? So maybe some like slacks, like khaki pants, and maybe a polo shirt or a button-down shirt, but no tie. That's considered casual dress. A lot of targets. Do you want to have a lot of targets and deadlines so you know exactly what you need to do? Some people like that. Other people want a little more flexibility. Do you want to travel to other countries for your job, for your work, go on business trips? And would you like to wear a uniform or not? Some people like uniforms, right? Because then you don't have to buy clothes and you don't have to worry about what you're going to wear every day. That takes that little bit of stress out of your morning or night when you don't have to think about what you're going to wear the next day. I know for a lot of students moving from high school to university in Korea, you have that freedom. Now you can wear what you want, but also that comes with a little bit of stress because you didn't have to do that in high school, right? Every morning your uniform was set and you didn't have to think about it. Suddenly you're in university and, oh, what am I going to wear tomorrow? What am I going to wear? Some people would like that in their job too. Okay, some more vocabulary here. Cope with, develop, improve, increase, lead, set up, and train. So you need to try to match these words with, these are basically synonyms down here in parentheses. So each of these parenthetical words or phrases links back to one of these vocabulary words. Okay, and if there's a totally new word, you have no idea what it means, go ahead and look that up. And then we've got some more words here: deal with, manage, motivate, organize, and plan. Remember, this is British English, that's why there's an S here. American English would have a Z there. Okay. I like this one for our attendance check. Describe your role in your present or a past job. Use the verbs from exercises A and B. All right, so think about, if you have a part-time job right now, you can use that as an example. If you don't have one, that's okay. If you had one in the past, you can use that one. And if you have never had any type of part-time job or work or anything like that, then why don't you use your imaginary 40-year-old job that we've been using all semester? Okay, and so if you're talking about your part-time job, maybe you don't lead anything, right? Maybe you're not a manager or in charge of anything. So that one, you don't, maybe you wouldn't use that word, but you could, maybe if there's a new employee and you help train that person, or maybe if you try to improve something or increase something, you could use that. Deal with, right? Deal with, you could, everyone deals with people, right? So if you're working at a fast food restaurant, you have to deal with customers, or maybe with your coworkers. Organize, maybe you have to organize things in your job, or plan things. So again, this is our attendance for this week. Attendance for video 1 will be right here. Okay. And remember, if you haven't worked yet, you can use your imaginary job. All right, we have a little language. So this is our grammar. Put a big G here for grammar. So present perfect. So for situations that started in the past and are still continuing till now, and also for life experiences. So some great thing that happened a long time ago, right? I don't know why I'm drawing these. That's just to show you that it's not connected to the present. So if we're looking at the connection to the past and present, so I have worked for IBM for 5 years. So 5 years ago I started, and I'm still working there now. So I have worked for 5 years. They have lived in Barcelona for 2 years. Right? So anytime I use this kind of sentence like this, I know the person is still there, still doing it. Right? In my case, I can say I have lived in Gimcheon or not Gimcheon, Daegu for about 10, 11 years. I have taught at Gimcheon University for 7 years. Okay, and then the life experiences, you could do, so I have had 3 jobs since I left university. That doesn't mean I have 3 jobs now, or even that I have 1 job now, but it's my experience. I have had 3 jobs. She hasn't had any experience in marketing. Have you ever worked abroad? Have you ever? This is a common question style that you are all familiar with. Have you ever momomo, right? Because that's talking about asking about your experience. Have you ever worked abroad? Have you ever tried Hongo? Have you ever been to Hong Kong, right? So those are the two main uses of this present perfect verb. And this down here gives you a chance to practice. So, and you're just using present perfect, so there's no surprises here. You'll need to use your verb have and conjugate it. So if it's I or he or she, or we or they, and you'll have to use the PP, past participle of the main verb here. Okay, and if you're not sure about those, you can look them up, past participle. Okay, and then we've got some interview questions with answers, again, practicing that grammar. So how many jobs have you had since leaving university? And you're probably going to look for a number, right? One of these should have a number in it. And I see down here, I've worked for 6 companies. So that would match. And then you do the same with the rest. Got a listening here. Well, let me move that, make it so you can see it. Again, that's in the file section. And we have completing questions using the present perfect again. So how have you changed? What software programs have you used recently? And you can continue on your own. More listening here. Again, remember that in addition to the files section where you can listen to these, we also have in the back of this book the transcripts. So ideally, you should listen. If you want to be perfect, what you should do is first listen, and then after you're done with the activity, you can check your work by going back to the transcripts and reading through and checking to see that you understood everything right and that you got the right answers. If you do that, you'll get a lot out of this activity. But you can also just listen and listen again and make sure that you got everything right. More. All right, and then we've got our reading activity about Helen Braudakis. Ask you some questions here about LinkedIn, if you're familiar with that, like Facebook for jobs and professional life. So we're going to read here about Helen and her background. You can see here her current job, her position, what she did in the past, her education, recommendations, connections. So she knows 150 people on this website, like LinkedIn website. Okay, and so you're gonna match let's see here. All right, so that's for Helen. You're gonna take these words here, these headings, and put them in the right place. So for example, this one, what is this talking about? It's talking about what she does now and tells us about her experience. And so which of these things would be this? It's probably going to be professional summary. Usually a resume starts with a professional summary to tell people who you are, right? Quick summary about you and your background before getting into the details of your degrees and your actual job experience and your role and your tasks at those jobs. Okay, we have one more grammar point here. Past simple and present perfect. And so I worked in Mexico City for 1 year, so it's finished I did it for a year and now I'm not doing that. I changed my job. Present perfect, he has worked, so began in the past and is still true. This is something that students get mixed up a lot. A lot of times I see students try to use the present perfect for past simple. Maybe, I don't know if sometimes you think it sounds better, and so that must be right if it sounds kind of fancy, right? Remember, if it happened and it's finished, totally done, just past simple. Okay. So sometimes I'll hear people say, "Oh, I have been to Japan on vacation." Well, it sounds a little awkward. The proper way to say that, the natural way to say that, is just, "I went to Japan on vacation." Right? So don't try to make things fancy just because they sound fancy. You wanna. It's better to be correct. And actually, past simple is, like its name, simple. So if you just stick with that, you'll be fine in that kind of situation. Okay, this gives you a chance here to practice those two. And here we have some expressions. So time expressions. This week, last week. All right, and you can skip that. And we've got some interview skills. We got listening here. Go ahead and do that. And I'm going to explain your case study. Online discussion for video 1 is here. I want you only to do this part. So you are going to listen to these two people talking. So they're talking about the type of person they want to hire for a job. And they talk about 4 categories. So personal qualities, experience, skills and abilities, and interests. So you're going to listen to this and take notes while you listen. When you are done with that, I want you to, on Canvas in the online discussion, write a summary. Imagine you work at the company. Imagine that you are the vice president here, and your job is to summarize what you talked about. So you can use we, the company, we. So we are looking for a person who, or this is a great chance to use should or would. Right? We would like a person who, mo, mo, mo. The ideal candidate should have mo, mo, mo experience, right? So divide that up into the 4 categories: personal qualities, experience, skills and abilities, and interests. Okay, and this is all explained on Canvas in the activity, how you should do it. Also, this one, you will not see other posts until you post. So when you first open it up, you'll see that no one else has posted, but that's okay. You won't see that until you're done. So just when you're ready, go ahead and do it. And don't worry about other people. You don't have to comment on anyone else for this activity. Just worry about your own. And I'll have video 2 will be available for you very soon. And that'll come with some questions as well. And that sums up this lesson. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.